happen. I'm going to open up Chrome on my laptop. You can do the same on your Chromebook. You're going to go to www.photopea.com. And we're going to open up a new project. So these are the dimensions of this project. This is the pattern. You can pause this video at any time, or you can speed it up because there's going to be some things that are repetitive and you might want to move forward. So I'm going to name it pattern. I'm going to change pixels to inches. Now I'm changing my measurements. The width is going to be 4 and the height is going to be 2.5 or 2.5. You're going to change the DPI to 150. Leave the background as white and you're going to hit create. So similar to Photoshop, you can use your zoom tool to zoom in so it's larger. You can also close some of these things here that might be in your way, some of your palettes, just by clicking on these little things, make them bigger or make them smaller. You're going to go up to, and I like to see my grid, you're going to go up to edit, and we're going to go to the word preferences. It's down at the bottom. I'm going to show my grid, and I'm going to change my rulers to inches. Don't worry about the grid grab, everything else is fine. And then you're just going to hit OK. Well, just X out, and that makes it OK. Go to the first tool and use your Move tool. You're going to click and drag. You want these rulers here. You notice that I'm counting from the 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it doesn't necessarily fit on that grid, and that's fine. And then you're going to put the next one at the number 1. You're going to bring another one down, and from the 1 you're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm counting the little lines on the side of my ruler. And then the next one you're going to bring down and you're going to drop out the number 2 on the sidebar. So all these are what we're looking at right now. We're going to bring our grid going across. I'm going to grab them, and these are easier. They just get dropped at each number. 1, 2. And let's say you mess up and you make a mistake and you drop it a little bit further there and it didn't quite make the 3. You just put your mouse on it and it turns into this double arrow and it will grab it and you can now slide it back over. Okay. So if the grid is distracting you, you can go back up to edit and you can go to preferences and you can uncheck the grid, and now you will only see your guidelines. So you do what works for you. I now have to bring in my 20 images. So there's several ways you can do it. I have them already in a folder on my desktop. So I'm opening up that folder and I can just drag and drop and resize them as I need. So I can drag my first image and then it's already in transformation when you bring it in, and I'm going to just drag and get it into the first rectangle. And then I hit my little check. Bring in your second image. And then you drag it, you put it next to your first image. If you have your snap on, that's great. A few things, if you were not able to see your rulers, you can go up to the word view and make sure rulers was checked. And also if snap is checked, you can have snap go right to your guides. So it makes it easier when you transform. So I'm now going to do my third image, and if you're way past this part and you need to scroll to the next step or fast forward to the next step, you can as I bring in my 20 images. And each time you do this, you are creating a new layer. You're responsible for getting your 20 images. So if you're making your portrait about a music person, then you should be finding images that are related to that music person. You know, you're not going to have 20 images of Beyonce and then have Frank Sinatra on top. Oh, ignore that bell. I'm still in school. You guys aren't. Miss you guys, by the way. So I'm still rearranging all these images. This is the hardest part of the whole entire project, and it's a very simple, repetitive part of the project to do. So you're just dragging and dropping. If you don't like dragging, and I'm working on a laptop, so I understand, you know, the mouse pad, and it's very similar to the mouse pad that you have in your Chromebook. But there is another way to do it if you don't want to use your mouse pad. You can go up to the word File, and you can do Open in Place, and you can find your file through Open in Place. So you go to your folder that you have, and then you find your file, and then you hit Open, and it'll put it into your document as well. So you do what works for you. As in Photoshop, there's 20 ways to do the same thing in Photopea as there is in Photoshop. So we'll just do this. Oh, already did that one, so we're not going to do that one. We're going to go to number 10. Mine are all labeled because of the way I brought it in. I know the tutorial says to use your crop tool, but I really find that this way is so much easier. And meanwhile, I still hope everybody is healthy at home and that you're all able to at least get some of this work done. I will do a tutorial also for the masking. I believe I already have it in Photopea for you guys, so I can just share that with you onto your assignment and share that with you tomorrow. And I will try to do as many of these type of recording tutorials so that we can go forward. Because we should be prepared if we go remote. So you do know that all these little squares are what you're pulling and dragging from, which is also very similar to Photoshop. It gets transformed in the same way. And Snap is a really convenient way to make sure that you're just hitting all those guidelines. So if you have your Snap already checked off for your guidelines, that's great. I don't really know how to speed up this part in QuickTime, so I'm just going to keep going until I'm finished. I know how to do it for an entire QuickTime performance, but not this like one little area. You guys probably know that. You probably know how to do it. You make movies and things. Okay, I have a few more images to bring in. We're almost done. This one is not right. There's also something, I don't know if I ever told you this, if you have auto select checked, it'll check the layer that you're on, and then you have to go back to edit and transform scale, and it will give you those scale marks again because this one was not clicked to the grid, and then I just click off. So that helps you like get directly to the layer that you want to be on. Yep, still in school here. We also have the heater blowing. There's so many noises and side effects going on here. I wish there was music playing. Maybe I should have done that, but it's what it is right now. So I'm almost done with my 20 art images. I have 2 more to go. We've got number 19. We've got a Van Gogh here. He was the king of self-portraits. Him and Rembrandt. And then last one is, oh, no, I don't want that. I'm going to undo that. My last image is here. Okay, so this is your first part of the project. This has to be submitted. So you go to File, Save as PSD, and I left it as pattern, and I'm going to put it right on my desktop so I know that I can go into Canvas and I can get my 100 points for that. I want to see all the layers. Then we move on to the second part of this project. I'm going to go up to the word layer, and I'm going to flatten my image. So all my layers are now flattened. So if I go and I show you my layer palette, go to your window, my layers are open and they are over here somewhere. Here they are. You can see I only have one layer. I just have my background layer. So the way that you get to that, you go to Layer, Flatten Image, and all your layers will get together. It has to be flattened for the next part. I'm just going to move my palette over here. Well, I'm not. How do I move this? This is crazy. I used to be able to just move this. Hold on. Here we go. All right, we're good. Okay, so the next thing I have to do is I go up and I have to get my pattern into this special area that's kind of like a clipboard for patterns. And I go to the word, I go up to Edit, then I go to Define New, and I'm going to choose Pattern. My pattern has been added. Okay. Now I'm going to make a new file. This part is very easy. I'm going to change the name of this to Mosaic Portrait. I'm going to change my width to 8 inches, and I'm going to change my height to 10 inches. I'm going to leave my DPI as 150, and then I'm going to hit Create. So a brand new project. I'm going to go to the word Edit, Fill, and by default it will say foreground. We're going to change that to Pattern. I'm going to click on the pattern, and you're going to see you get a few patterns to choose from. I'm going to click on the very last one, the one that looks like a lot of different squares, because that's the one that we just made, and I'm going to click on it, and then I'm going to hit OK, and it fills up your pattern. Okay. I'm now going to get my photograph of Bob Ross. If you have whoever your portrait is, make sure it's accessible. Mine is on my desktop waiting for me. I'm going to go to Open, and I'm going to find my photo. He was waiting for me, but now I have to look for him. Miss Liemer-Kelly should have named her file so that way she could have easily found her picture. And she didn't name it this time. Why would she not do that and make this easier? Oh, maybe I didn't do it. Wait, hold on. Let's go to my drive and go find it from my drive. Okay, here it is. And let's download Bob. Let's put Bob onto my desktop. Actually, you can actually drag and drop right onto the Photopea tab, which is kind of a cool feature. And it makes it active. And now I've got Bob in there. All right, so I have to transform Bob because he's too small for my Photopea. And you could fast forward fast forward all that part of me searching for Bob. And then when you're happy, you hit your check mark. So I've got him there. There's Bob. I need to have my layers open for this part of the project. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to and change my layer mode. So I don't want it to be normal. I'm going to change it to soft light. And you can barely see Bob now. So now I go to my background and I change my opacity, and I believe the magic number was like 25. Actually, on this one is, yeah, 25 is good because you can see some of the mosaic behind him, and then you can see him as well. You can, play with this number as you want, depending how much of the imagery you want to say with it. I'm going to say for this one, on my computer, looks good at 40. And then you go to File, Save as PSD, and put it on your desktop so you know where it is. And then this is the part 2 part of the project, which is a lot shorter than the part 1. And when you're finished, you put that into your canvas and you get your 100 points. If you have any questions, send me something in the inbox and I will point out this video tomorrow.